They were supposed to be here like
30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago. And then we saw them drive past. And I think they're just lost.
Good morning and welcome to today's video. Today we will be working on sheeting. Hopefully we wrap up everything that can be sheeted here today. We have all our tools set up. I'll show you what we'll be doing. We'll be filling this in. And then there's a portion down here that I need to frame in and then sheet. I want this wall to be flush as it comes along. I went from a 2x8 wall on this exterior wall, then it was reduced down to 2x4 wall. So I need to put a bottom plate up here and then run 2x4s down alongside these trusses. I'll have Michael work on this portion here while I fur out this wall.
Who's up there? Checking in on the guys. The dad.
All right, I need to put some sort of a support behind here for this last piece of plywood, just to kind of secure it in place. Need to do the same thing over in that area. Very secure. Michael's working on sheeting the last little bit over there. Now that doesn't conclude all the sheeting we have to do. Well, once I frame the covered patio, I'll have some walls to sheet. The faces of the trusses and the side walls of the trusses. We're just finishing up putting this fascia board on. I ran a string line down the fascia and trimmed them all equally so I get a nice straight fascia board on here. And then once it's all set, I go ahead and tie the sheeting down into the fascia board. But then we'll do the same thing on the other side, and then we can work on ice and water shield. I have a different brother here this evening. All right, so we're wrapping it up for this evening. Justice and I didn't get quite as much done as we would have liked, but made some good solid progress. I think tomorrow morning, between having windows delivered, hopefully wrap up what we kind of worked on this evening.
We are currently waiting for the windows to be delivered. They were supposed to be here like
30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago. And then we saw them drive past. And I think they're just lost. But we called the window company and they called their guy, so he should be able to find it now.
Made it. I had the complete wrong address.
Go for it.
Oh my goodness. That was so close. It looks so good. That is a really nice window. So last minute we decided to put the prairie design in the windows, and I was very confident at the time, but then I kind of was like, I don't know, was that really the best decision? Like, should I have just gone with something like plain Jane, you know, like no grills? But now that the windows are here and I actually see them, I really like them. I think it's gonna add a lot to our house. What do you think, Joe?
Seem all right? All right, so I'm back this afternoon. I'm gonna try to use this as much as possible. It's just a hammer stapler. kind of get things tacked first before I start the generator up and use the air gun tab nailer and the roofing nailer and such. So let's see what I can do. This will literally fly forever and ever and ever until it gets caught in a tree or a bush. Why I water up like that. Alright, so with the heat on this nice black surface, it'll get warm. This ice and water is designed to stick down, create a nice barrier. And we put it along the eaves because, not so much on this roof, but because it's so steep, so moisture is gonna run away really quickly. You can see on all the lower pitched roofs, I did a couple rows, basically where along the edges of your house, where the roof comes down. If you have just regular trusses, there's less room for insulation, so heat leaks through that portion of your ceiling inside your house, and then the heat heats up that portion of the attic, and then during the winter time, the cold air outside and heat leaking through along the edges of the roof can create an issue where it's like warm enough to melt but yet freeze again, so it's called ice damming. So when ice dam happens, that moisture builds up instead of running off the roof, and it can find nail holes or flaws here and there that allow water to get through, and it can go down into the house. This ice and water is designed to seal around every nail that goes through it and create a nice barrier on top of that plywood. We put it on all eaves and in all valleys because valleys are exceptionally susceptible to leaks, and then on rake walls, which are walls like these where a wall comes down on top of a roof portion, and then head walls, which are going to be right to my right here, where a wall comes vertical on a roof sloping away from it, because again, both of those areas are susceptible to moisture. Alright, so I tacked down the paper with the tab nailer on the other side, and I came over on this side, and I ran a string line from tail of the second to the last truss out to as far as I could reach, so it would be tail of that truss. And I measured back and marked lines so that I had an equal distance between the string line and the tail of each truss. Since I have the sheeting in place, I can't run a circular saw, so I had to use a sawzall. So the cut's not pretty, but it is more than sufficient for what I need. Then I got my fascia board and I figured out my angle, trimmed off the edge of it so it'll fit nicely right in that corner. And then I took my fascia board, ran it out or held it up there, and I want the seam between my fascia that extends out and this fascia board to be over the tail of a truss. So I marked it and trimmed that off. All right, so I went down to the ground. My fascia looks nice and straight. I'm gonna take those ring shank nails and tie the sheeting into that fascia board. And then I'm going to use a coil roofing nailer, which is right here, and install gutter apron, which is a metal flashing right here. And this metal goes on the edge of the roof, will go underneath the ice and water, and basically it will form kind of a shape like that. So water comes down the roof and goes over the fascia board and into the gutter. I'll slide fascia metal up underneath that gutter apron to effectively keep moisture off the fascia board, but you'll see that in future videos if you like and subscribe to this YouTube channel.